Hey, so wasn't really planning on making a video today. Actually, since I last made a video a week ago, I think it's a week ago today, actually, haven't had any chance to work on my own personal project in all that time. It's one of the problems having a pretty busy family life and stuff. It's not really a problem, but it just means that I don't get to focus huge amounts of time on this. But when I do come back to it, I'm having lots of fun right now, and it's really nice. This is going to be a much shorter video, hopefully, than the last one, because I'm just going to show something that I've just done. I've not been filming myself do it, so I'm just going to explain what I've just done because I just think it's really useful and nice. And of course, I've been using Claude Code to do this. But I just wanted to show something because I discovered something today that I wasn't even previously aware of, right? So I was going to go back to main on my project for a second. And I'll show you how my Bruno collection looked like. So I'm going to close that and just reopen Bruno. So again, for people who are not familiar, Bruno is a application very similar to Postman, conceptually similar, basically does the same thing Postman does, but it's very it's been written from the ground up to be friendly to version control. So it works really well with Git, and I think much better than Postman for that reason alone. Anyway, you can see here that I was building up this very large collection of API calls, and these were working, although it was quite hard to know exactly which ones worked, which ones didn't, because you can see how many I've got here. There's a lot of them, and it's quite hard to, I just use these as a kind of convenience, right? This is how I've been using it so far. For my own personal stuff, I use vtest to do my actual integration style tests. And what's really nice about doing it that way with vtest is that I can use Docker under the hood. So I use test containers and all of that stuff. Now, I'm not going to go massively into, I'm not even going to go into how I'm doing that really, other than just to explain it. But yeah, I was doing a piece of work just now. I actually just merged a really nice piece of work, which again, Claude massively helped with. And then I was looking at my collection and I was like, this is getting a bit hard to even kind of read through. It's a bit messy. I don't know for sure which ones work. I kind of manually click around and most of them are working, but you find the odd one that isn't quite right and stuff. Bit of a pain. So I asked, I created a new branch, went into Claude, and I just basically asked it, let's restructure how this all kind of works. Let's do it based on a semantic understanding of what's actually going on. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to carry on explaining what I'm doing. I've moved back to my branch, but I'm going to actually ask it here to summarize exactly what's just done, what it's just done, and let's put it in a let's put that in a PR comment as well. I'm going to say I am what am I doing? I am explaining. I am trying to show the value of what we just did here to, I'm just going to say, like, is it somebody who was not present during the time we were doing the work itself. Can you add a comment to the PR itself that explains not only what we did here, but how the conversation progressed and how we were able to incrementally improve our Bruno collection. Let's just do that. It should add it to the PR. So the PR I have is here. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait. Well, I mean, it should add a comment right at the bottom here. I'll talk through this in a minute, but I'm expecting a new comment to appear at some point. While it's doing that, let me just show you what we've now got. So now we have this nice. It's done this again. Hang on. Oh, that's annoying. I will. Oh, hang on. I don't think that's actually a problem. I think if I restart Bruno, it will get that right. It's probably just, I think maybe it just gets confused when, oops. when you switch branches without restarting, maybe. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I'll figure that out. I mean, the ordering isn't quite right there. So, okay, I need to do that. I think in most of them it is. Yeah, I'll figure that out. I'm not going to stress about that too much, but for the purposes of this demo, consider these to be in the correct order because I will figure that one out shortly. But what's really powerful though is firstly, it's organized these in a kind of semantically correct, structure. So now I have bookmarks, workspaces, contexts. You can see as well there's like a dud collection here. I'm not sure if I've moved back slightly behind where I should be, but because that should be updated. But let's ignore that for now because I can clean that up. But essentially, what we've now got is in each one of these collections. So they're now ordered by kind of entity. But within that, you have an ordering. So create, get, list. Here we've got setup, create. As you see, slightly. I mean, the ordering here doesn't matter too much, but I still want, for obvious reasons, it to look right. That's all well and good, right? And that's really nice. It's a really nice start. Like everything is in like a logical order. So we've got create. We've got basically the CRUD kind of operations here. That's really nice. But then the other issue is, I want to understand. I want to know that everything still works, right? And that's a bit of a pain as well. I didn't realize this, but I was looking into, how can I do that? And like, is there any way I can test these collections? But Bruno actually has a command line interface, which I was not aware of. And essentially what I've got now is I've basically used Claude to make sure we've got tests for the Bruno collections themselves. And I should be able to do here. If you see, let me run this. And this should all pass. Boom. And this, and to show you as well, that is actually making requests. So if you see here, this is the server running in dev mode. And if I run, you should see it actually, there you go. It's firing off all these requests. You see some noise in there, but I think that's just to do with the error handling. I don't know if we've got a console log in there somewhere, which I think we do. I need to clean up probably one console log. But you can see how this is really nice. And it's also done... it's also correctly set this up so that I have, if you see here, well, I had a token on there, but I'm going to expire this token anyway, so no worries. But basically, we have this kind of notion now of an M file where I have to pass that token in. So if I hit save here, you can see how that all fails now because most of the collections fail because we don't have authentication. If I do that, it'll pass. I will be expiring this token in a moment. But you can see here, this is so useful how it's documented this whole thing. And if I go into the PR, let's see what it's just added here. So this is this the comment? Here we go. Let's have a quick look and then I'll call it a day on this. The journey, iterative improvement of our Bruno collection. PR represents a fascinating example of iterative software development through collaboration problem solving. So the initial problem was we started with a disorganized file structure, hard-coded authentication in source control. Again, like I'm only using this for local development, but I was kind of being a bit naughty doing that. What I was doing, to be very clear, is I was always expiring them very quickly, but I was, hadn't properly looked into how to do this, and it's only for local dev, and I have separate environments and stuff, but still, you shouldn't really be doing this. It's a bit naughty of me, but that's been fixed now. Confusing UI, duplicate entries, so on and so on. And then, so what did we do? We started this chaos first, fixed this chaos first, then we fixed the test assertions, PR feedback for the security improvements, and yeah, I mean, it's... But the really powerful thing here, I mean, I've managed to completely restructure all of this stuff. It's written all of these tests for me. And yeah, it's just really quite neat. I've not added it to my CI pipeline just yet, but I did get it to write a issue for that, which should be here. There we go. Because I need to think about how I'm going to get the auth token into the pipeline, because I need to dynamically do that somehow. So I figured that's like a separate problem, and I'll come back to that. But and it's also added the instructions inside its own Claude MD file somewhere. Well, we added an ADR. Sorry, I didn't forgot about that as well. So if we go to the docs, where are we? Go to docs. We've got a Bruno collection ADR, which explains all of this stuff. And also inside, where did I put it? So, well, it's inside the Claude MD file. We now have instructions about the Bruno test in the Claude MD file as well. So it knows, and it's added it to, I have this pipeline checks command. So if I go to my main project JSON, I've got my pipeline checks command here, and you can see it runs all of this stuff. This is what it's told to run on before every commit. And you can see we go all this way, and it does the Bruno test collections now, which means that I should not see any regressions in the Bruno collections as well. So it's better organized. I'll clean up the ordering. I'm not sure what's happened there. I'll clean that up off camera. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show that off, just show something really useful. Still iterating on this thing. It's quite, it's going quite well. But again, I just chip away at it when I can. Yeah, cool.